The Consumer Price Index was released early this morning, showing that U.S. inflation rose 3.3%, the highest that it has reached in nearly 2 years. Why are we seeing this increase, and where are our wallets going to feel the most pain because of it? Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates joins me now to give us his insight. Stephen, the annual inflation rate rose 0.9%. This is the largest single-month jump for the index since 2022. So why are we seeing this increase?
So this should come as no surprise to anybody who's been to a gas station recently. This is gasoline prices, diesel fuel prices, overall byproducts of oil are priced higher because we have a shortage. We have an oil shock coming out of the Middle East.
Is inflation increasing on an international scale too, or do you think this is just contained to the U.S.?
No, this is certainly globally. And actually, the U.S. is probably coming out a little shinier than most countries. If you look to Europe, one of the main places that they get their oil, where they get fertilizer, is coming through the Strait of Hormuz, which is obviously right at the center of this crisis. The U.S. is a net energy exporter. So we're actually in a decent position economically and geopolitically. But unfortunately, oil is priced globally. So we are getting the extension of these price hikes.
You know, we're in home buying season, Stephen, and with this drastic increase in inflation, is it concerning you? Also, what else might the Fed do because of it?
So for home buyers coming into the spring buying season, I think this is a big discouraging environment because mortgage rates, for the briefest of moments, we cracked below 6%. I think that was a hopeful moment for a lot of people who want to be buying, who want to see their mortgage payments be lower. We're now back well above 6%. We're not looking like we're going to be back down to the low sixes anytime soon. Now, as far as the Fed goes, the Fed doesn't control mortgage rates. But what they do control, their policy rate of Fed funds rate, that's not going to budge. I think we can close the book on any rate cuts for probably the rest of the year.
And besides the gas prices, where else do you think we're going to see rising costs?
So the duration of this crisis is going to be a major factor in how much this bleeds into other areas and other industries. Oil is an input into many, many industries. Things like pharmaceuticals, personal products, building materials, all of those involve some sort of petroleum products in some ways. Now, they may be minor inputs into those industries, but the longer that this goes on, the more likely that price increases are going to trickle into other parts of the economy. So if we get a quick resolution, then maybe this blows over and we only get a few months of higher inflation. But if this goes on for a long time and the uncertainty persists, businesses are going to have no choice but to start to price this into what they pass on to consumers.
And if the consumers are feeling the weight of the prices, let's say debt's tough right now, or they're concerned about their investments, what do you advise they do?
So for investors, if you have a relatively long-term time frame, this should not cause you any anxiety. Yes, it's not fun to see prices go up and down, but we're actually not far off the all-time high for the S&P 500. And that's something that, given the disruption that this has had globally, stock markets holding up pretty well. And that's mostly because U.S. earnings are at a really, really good level. We're expecting still higher earnings than we had last quarter. One thing I would say to people is that in the household budget category, you've got to try to make your dollar stretch further in the areas that matter to you most. We cannot, unfortunately, just do everything. You're going to have to substitute some things, whether that means trying to downgrade from certain things at the grocery store or eating out to eating in. One bright spot here in this report is that food at home is going down February to March, and on an annual basis is up less than 2%. Yeah. That's the first time in a while, and probably one thing that we can say is welcome from a consumer standpoint.
Oh yeah, hopefully people are feeling some of that relief, or they start to here in the near future. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us right here at 5.
My pleasure.